Earth, known as the Blue Planet, was formed approximately 4.5 billion years ago. Humans, in the most primitive levels, were present 200,000 years ago. For the presence of humans and the natural occurrence of the Earth, it is in constant state of change. There are 8.7 million species that inhabit the Earth, all of which have multiple factors contributing to the loss of their habitat over time, whether through human footprint, the bleaching of the coral reefs, or rapid deforestation. In recent years, all factors have contributed to the extinction of many of the Earth's species. Human impact. The Industrial Era was the spark of humankind's rapid destruction of the Earth and its natural resources. Fossil fuels became in high demand for many with the increasing need for energy with the high rate of production. With the increase in population, the increasing demand for shelter followed. In the past few decades, human beings have begun to create habitats of their own at the expense of species which were present before them. The destruction of forested areas provided space for suburbias worldwide. Many species have lost their habitats as a result. This expansion of our concrete world has led to many problems. Pollution has risen, as well as environmental issues. Due to the lack of soil-covered areas, there has been an increase in runoff water, causing many areas to overflow. Along with issues in running water, the sun's rays are absorbed at higher rates as a result of increasing areas where asphalt is laid to accommodate buildings and transportation, which adds to countless issues of climate change caused by humans. Human beings have become more reliant on vehicles for transportation, causing an increase in pollutants released into our environment with the millions of vehicles on the road today. In Canada alone, there are 1,055,032 tons of nitric oxide emissions released as a result of transportation, which includes man's daily driving habits as well as commercial vehicles. Often described as a gaseous liquid or solid substance of biological origin that is used as a fuel, biofuel development has begun a wave of future energy sources. There has been an interest in the reduction of harmful emissions being released, for example nitrogen. When used in agriculture, nitrogen has a 100-year average global warming potential, which is 296 times larger than the equal mass of CO2. This is alarming because even though biofuels are said to assist in the reverse of human impact to climate change, studies have shown that nitrogen will continue to be released in the production process. The release of nitrogen is an issue because although it is said to have a massive effect that will not reach maximum potential, there are still harmful pollutants being released into the Earth's atmosphere. Over the years, there have been countless alternative fuel sources tested, one of which is cellulosic ethanol, to replace current ethanol in gasoline. Cellulosic ethanol has displayed higher biomass yields when produced from perennial plants and has shown lower nitrogen levels being emitted into the Earth's atmosphere. The Earth has developed a pattern in increasing temperature over the past decade. There has been an alarming increase in temperature of 0.2 degrees, stressing the importance to reduce this pattern, which at first may not have seemed to many to be drastic. However, with the ice freezing at 0 degrees, this increase of 0.2 degrees can hold a strong effect on ongoing melting of polar ice caps. The loss of our Arctic environment will have detrimental effects on habitat loss with many species living in the Arctic region. In addition, ice cap loss will also lead to water levels rising, forcing all worldly species to adapt.
Coral reefs. Rapid habitat loss in coral reefs has sparked increasing concern on a global scale. Each year, coral reefs globally are continuing to deteriorate, mainly due to human activities resulting in a warming climate. 25% of coral reefs are completely destroyed or severely degraded, and 58% are threatened by human activities. Over time, habitat loss in coral reefs has increased dramatically due to rapid population growth, increased commercial demand, and technological advancements. In a particular study that measured the abundance of coral and goby fish species in the Kimbe Bay region in Papua New Guinea, Arapora corals were reduced by approximately 59%, and goby species were also reduced by approximately 59% within a 6-year time period. Protecting and sustaining coral reef habitats is important because they provide diverse and valuable resources such as protection against coastal storms and recreational activities. If habitat loss continues in coral reefs, biodiversity and many resources that humans rely on consistently will be lost. Habitat loss in coral reefs can happen for a variety of reasons. One cause of habitat loss in coral reefs is overfishing, which occurs when fish populations become depleted to the point where they cannot produce enough juveniles to reestablish the reef. Coral bleaching takes place when the microalgae on the coral's surface dies and the coral loses its color. This can have detrimental effects on coral reef habitats. Coral bleaching occurs in coral reefs due to the increase of water temperature caused by a warming climate. Another cause of habitat loss in coral reefs is eutrophication, which occurs when runoff from land enters into coral reefs. This increases nitrogen and phosphorus levels in the water, causing an algal bloom, resulting in less sunlight and oxygen being available to the coral. The process of sedimentation takes place in coral reefs when land erosion pushes debris on top of the coral, which reduces the amount of sunlight and food supply the coral needs to survive, therefore creating a loss of habitat in coral reefs for many aquatic species. Studies show a slow decline in natural resources and a rapid increase in degradation of global coral reef regions over the last 150 to 300 years. This correlates with the concept that activities throughout human history are the cause of degradation rather than natural change. There are many direct and indirect solutions to help restore habitats in coral reefs. Some techniques include coral fragmentation and the construction of electric coral reefs. Marine habitat conservation can also be established by measuring the amount of biodiversity of aquatic species in multiple regions to identify areas at high risk. Multiple social, economic, and governmental policies can have a huge role in the conservation of coral reefs in a region. It is crucial to involve local communities and teach conservation techniques to establish optimal management of marine protected areas.
Deforestation. Deforestation has led to many disasters in the Amazon rainforest. One of the main disasters are habitat loss. Throughout many years, over 90 bird species in the Amazon are at extinction risk due to deforestation. Over the past few years, estimated data has been collected, which show areas in the region are being affected with deforestation. As said, many species that live in those areas are losing their homes. These tropical forests only cover 6% of the Earth's surface, and half of the species in the world live in rainforests. Scientists have compared their estimated answers to the novel called IUCN Red List, which had the same results, therefore leading to the answers of extinction of these bird species. Having two answers to the solution makes it true that the Amazon rainforest is losing species to deforestation. If deforestation continues, we'll completely lose the rainforest within the next 40 years. Also, in Nova Scotia, Canada, tricolored bats are in threat by human land use. These bats live in small forests which get cut down by loggers every year. Due to this distribution of these bats, data has shown scientists use Anabats, which is a tool to detect where bats are located. The Anabat tool showed 90 different locations where these bats were located within the area. Over a few years, scientists have noticed that the tricolor bats are decreasing. Facts have been proven by showing that these bats are more active when there is less agriculture going around, and when there is more agriculture, the bats are less active due to losing their homes. That said, deforestation affects these tricolored bats. In the Atlantic forest of Brazil, mammals have a major effect on biological diversity because of deforestation. Scientists have looked into if climate change or deforestation was the effect on these mammals. Researchers found that mammals live in areas with small amount of trees, what makes it harder for them to live since there is less space. An estimated 92.5% of original forest has been lost in Brazilian Atlantic forest. Deforestation is a key factor to this since now they don't have any place to live, making their lives worse than it already was. Researchers now know that this has nothing to do with climate change but more due to deforestation since loggers come every year to cut down trees in the Atlantic forest of Brazil, affecting these species at where they live.
All species that inhabit the earth have been subjected to habitat loss in many different locations, on land, in the water, and in the air. As a result, all species have experienced a varied degree in change in their suitable climate and have been forced to adapt. For some, however, this is not always the case, as there has been a rise and extinction of organisms worldwide. Consequently, the Earth's future is in our hands, and it is through our decision-making process that we can dictate its longevity.